Let me start with this. You are perfectly fine as you are. You do not need to actually modify your body to feel seen, to be seen, or to be wanted. It's also important for me to know that you really understand that you do not owe anyone sex, intimacy, or even attraction, ever. It's as equally important for you to know and really understand that nobody owes you these things either. If you're exclusionary in your sexual encounters, that does not make you a prude, it does not make you a bigot, it does not make you a homophobe or a transphobic person. In most cases, it would make you a homosexual or just somebody with standards. Now, if anyone calls you a derogatory name or word after you've said no to any sexual advances, instantly that would be sexual coercion. So let's find out what is sexual coercion. I'm going to read you this information straight from womenshealth.gov, which I will also link in the description below. Okay, so sexual coercion is unwanted sexual activity that happens when you are pressured, tricked, threatened, or forced in a non-physical way. Most of the time, if it isn't a crime, it's at least a sexual abuse. It goes on to say, coercion can make you think you owe sex to someone. It might be from someone who has power over you, like a teacher, landlord, a boss. And no person is ever required to have sex with anyone else. So really, it's any time you're made to feel guilty and you've made feel that you owe somebody sex, that is coercion, and it is a crime pretty much everywhere. But if it's not in your state or in your country, it's at least sexual abuse. So if you see anyone calling you, for example, a transphobic person for not wanting to date trans people, that would be a form of sexual coercion. If you feel like you're struggling to set your own sexual boundaries, please reach out to somebody that you trust, or you can reach out to me. I will include an email address right here that you can contact me on, and I will be able to direct you to the right people who will be able to assist you. But do remember, you are totally entitled to say no to any sexual advances for any reason whatsoever. With that out of the way, we now have very difficult conversations ahead. So let's get to it. Now, I'm sure you've noticed, but there's been a very ugly war raging between the LGBTQIA plus community and homosexuals and bisexuals, and it's been going on for a while now. On one side, there are addicted, horny fuckers who just want to fuck everyone and their mothers. And on the other side, there's us homosexuals and bisexual people who are, I would say, equally as horny, but we have standards. From the beginning, we have asserted our sexual boundaries, and we've been told that we are either transphobic or genital fetishes for being same-sex attracted. I am trying to make light of this very serious issue, albeit very badly, but it's been very hard to experience this. I never thought it possible that I would be vilified and name-called for simply being and stating that I was lesbian and therefore would never be attracted to a biological male who identifies and dresses as the socially constructed image of a woman. I have later seen homosexual men dealing with the same issue, as well as bisexual people who are taking it pretty hard right now since they are attracted to both sexes, but for some reason they are not allowed to have a sexual preference. There's been a lot of guilt tripping done by the LGBTQIAS2+ community in regards to demanding sex, and that community is full of heterosexual people who keep changing definitions of the words to erase boundaries when it comes to sexual acts. So I'm here to take a magnifying glass to this curse. I will be challenging and dissecting anything to do with sex and sexuality, transgenderism, gender ideology. So I'm Jen, and I am same-sex attracted. I do want to say that I'm a lesbian. However, the definition of the word lesbian has been bastardized beyond all recognition, basically. But I am just one person, and I need your help. If you are same-sex attracted, it would be awesome if you could add your voice to this project that I'm doing here in regards to sexuality and gender ideology. So if you are lesbian, gay, bisexual, and you wouldn't mind discussing sex, sexuality, and gender ideology, please don't hesitate to send me an email. Please include your Twitter handle, just to make sure that you're not weird or anything like that. I really don't care what your journey has been so far, where you come from, your background, your culture, anything. Whatever your journey and you're same-sex attracted, please give me a shout, all right? And let's start having these conversations, which I am told will make people stop existing from the face of the earth and cause literal violence. So here's where I stand with gender ideology. 4 years ago, I was chanting, trans women are women, trans men are men. Today, I reject all gender ideology. I do not use pronouns. If a person doesn't feel right within themselves that they have to deny who they are, that is not on me. I am very sorry that people do experience gender dysphoria or body dysphoria. I've been there myself. But at this point, therapy will be more beneficial to these people than me pretending that I'm not seeing a man when I see one or a woman when I see one. I can be kind to people, but please don't ask me to be delusional on anyone's account. I 100% believe that body dysphoria, gender dysphoria are real things. I've experienced them myself as a very young child. So I have no issues with an adult person who has decided after therapy and proper consultation really to decide to live and present as the opposite gender for their own comfort. I absolutely reject the notion that being same-sex attracted is transphobic and denies anyone their existence. I do not believe that same-sex attraction is a preference. Same-sex attraction has always been and always will be a sexuality. And lastly, I'm quite sickened to see that young children are being medicalized and undergoing medical transition based on gender stereotypes. These kids are most likely same-sex attracted, and they are being affirmed and provided experimental drugs and surgery in a lot of cases. I'm very embarrassed to see the amount of trans YouTube content creators who glamorize their transitions to young children with zero mental health qualifications and who never provide links to studies that they mention in their content. Most of the time, they overuse the Zoom effect in post-production software whenever a fact is stated. And again, these facts aren't based on anything except the fact that they are trans. My criticism towards anyone who has undergone a medical transition will never be because they've done so. But I don't believe that trans people should avoid criticism because they are trans. I have seen very despicable attitudes within that community, especially the silencing of detransitioners, the mocking of their traumatic experiences, which I am definitely going to call out. And I always have a soft spot for people who have been expulsed from the communities after showing criticism towards said community. The conversation around gender identity has heavily been one-sided, and I'm just here to act as a counterweight. Gender ideology is something that affects a lot of people, and a lot of people's voices have been cancelled or silenced, and I hope to change that with your help. Now, here is what you can expect from me going forward. I'm definitely not going to approach this gently. However, I will always be respectful, but the band-aid needs to be ripped off. And I know I am going to piss off a lot of people making this content. I'm going to piss off the pedophiles, the misogynists, the AGP men, the equivalent for the women. I am going to piss off a lot of people. But I thought, right now I have nothing anyone can cancel. The only thing that you can cancel is my Now subscription, which needs cancelling. Have introduced unskippable ads on paid subscriptions. Can you believe it? So please go ahead, cancel that for me. I don't care. I have nothing else to cancel. So perfect time to piss a lot of people off. So now, without sounding patronizing, and I know it sounds horrible, but we have to these days, all right? I'm gonna go through a few definitions, and I hate to even say that. It sounds so patronizing, doesn't it? But in this day and age, especially definitions revolving around sex, sexualities, these have just completely changed. And for us to see where we stand here on this channel is to use the same definitions of words. So I'm going to go through a few definitions that I will be using and how I'll be using these on the channel. Right, first, the word woman. Adult female human being, like an XX chromosome person with a vagina. Just that. You know exactly what that means, all right? If you're going, oh, but no, it's X. No, f you. Adult female human being. A man, adult male human being. XY with a penis. The word sex. Either of the two main category, male and female, into which humans and most other living things are divided on the basic of their reproductive function. People who try to make things more complicated than they are either idiots or they're doing it for an agenda. Gender. Either of the two sexes, male or female, especially one considered with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. The word gay. Of a person, homosexual, use especially of a man. I understand some people do prefer to use gay, whether they're, woman or man, but I will use the term lesbian for women and gay for men. Bisexual, individual of either sex who are attracted to both sexes. Lesbian, a woman who is sexually attracted to other women. Now, on this channel, the word cis does not exist. It's a totally ridiculously made up word, and it sounds as ridiculous as a woman with a penis and a man with a vagina. Trans women aren't women. Trans men aren't men. Trans women are trans women. Trans men are trans men. You cannot change sexes. I would like to add that also a lesbian with a penis doesn't exist, and a gay man with a vagina doesn't exist. All right, we know exactly who has vaginas and who has penises. Now, honestly, I know I might probably sound obnoxious. I'm just pissed off, and when I'm pissed off, I do have an attitude. This whole thing has just pissed me off, really. Now, if you're easily triggered or offended, I wouldn't recommend that you subscribe. But if you do have the stomach for real talk, straight questions, straight answers, do like and subscribe to this channel. All right, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know in the comment section what you would like me to broach in terms of subjects. If there's any subjects that you don't want me to broach as well, please tell me what they are and tell me why you wouldn't like me to approach these. And I do want to thank a lot of people who I've been in contact with on Twitter, for letting me use some of your resources. If I used your resources and didn't ask, please forgive me. The logistics sometimes of contacting people when you're not following each other is a little bit difficult, but hopefully you'll find it in your hearts to forgive me. If you want to participate in this project, please send me an email, okay? And I'll be seeing you soon. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.